Etepu, assalamu alaikum, namaste, haru nefer. This is Qesankh Keperu with another exciting video. In this video, we're going to talk about hood mind control and implants. But before I do that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time watching, hit the subscribe notification to see when I upload videos or go live. If you want to know more about my spiritual teachings, you can scroll down below and click on one of the 4 ebook links. You can download the ebooks today. They're free. And if that's not enough, you can become a Patreon supporter for as little as $1, $5, or $20 per month. And you'll get exclusive access to videos on the esoteric, videos on the spiritual, videos that will teach you how to properly meditate, breathing exercises to lower the animal spirit, to subjugate that animal spirit so you don't act all emotional. Videos that will teach you how to communicate with the ancestors, how to astral project, and so much more. So become a Patreon supporter today. There's no obligation. You can cancel at any time. Last but not least, share this video with family and friends so we can get this revolution started. So, Haru Nefer, Namaste, Grand Rising. I want to, well, first of all, you probably noticed that I am dressed in wearing a tie today, and that's because I have a meeting. But more importantly, it actually pertains to the subject matter at hand. You see, in my last video, if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. Definitely check it out. One of the things I talked about is how you have these mega corporations, these conglomerates, like BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, working in conjunction with your think tank institutions like the Rockefeller Foundation, like what is the other ones? Oh, there's a ton of other ones. The Council on Foreign Relations, Tavistock, and their main objective is to control culture, is to control society, and there are different levels of control. And one of the things that they're very, very good on is, besides the obvious fact of, putting subliminal messages in the movies, in the media, things like that, they're very good on the occult esoteric sciences. And what they typically will do is they will inject what we call is a virus into the population. And this population could be a certain demographic that they're looking to control. And this virus comes as a implant, or first of all, it comes as a download. Then it takes the form of an implant, which is implanted within you. Now, I'm talking metaphysically. I'm not talking about a physical implant. All right. And these implants really are how you are controlled. Because as I said before, the implant becomes a virus and you start to act accordingly to whatever the program, what the directives of the program. And it spreads like a virus due to the principle, the 100 monkey principle, where as soon as it reaches a certain amount of people within that demographic, that tipping point, it then becomes a kind of mainstream cultural norm, a de facto cultural norm. That's just how everybody starts to act. And even if people who have downloaded this virus or this implant that becomes a virus on the East Coast and having no contact with those on the West Coast will simply mirror that. I mean, in quantum mechanics, they talked about 2 particles separated from each other. And if you do something to one particle, the other particle will respond in kind. But how do they know? How did that particle know what type of communication was going on between the 2 particles, given the fact there was a great distance between them? That's the string theory. So realistically, when you start to study Kemetic spirituality and the cult, you realize that time and space are an illusion. Space is an illusion. Because who you are, which is consciousness, is not fixed at any one point in time and space. You are everywhere and hence nowhere. And because of that, those two particles can communicate with one another in the same way as when this group, we can call them the Illuminati, um, injects or downloads this program, and you intake it as an implant, and it spreads as a virus. That is the most sophisticated form of mind control or manipulation there is. Because at this point in the game, you are no longer enslaving people with physical chains or with military might. But at this point, you can do anything. You can even have them beg you to make them into a slave. I remember I was on this plane, and I met this young young woman. She was very tall too, and had bruises all over her face. Um, and she was wearing some type of Egyptian motif. So I talked to her about it, and all of a sudden, and I know what this comes from. But if you ever have a situation when you start a conversation with a stranger, it's like as if you guys known each other for your whole lives. And the two of us started talking, and it was like we've been longtime friends, even though we just met. And we were laughing, we were joking, we were making fun of other people. It was great. So when we sat down, I asked her what she did, and she says, "Oh, I'm a dominatrix." And I said, "Oh." She was telling me she just got beat up by her boyfriend. She got arrested in some foreign country and was locked up. And I really felt sad for her and her situation. But I lost contact with her. We didn't really exchange numbers or anything like that. But I remember thinking how within that industry, there's a certain level of control that these women, these dominatrix exercise on their subjects. And it just interests me, like, what are the triggers within people, you know? And in my last broadcast, I talked about how the tobacco industry had studied Black people in this country and knew what our triggers were. They knew that we suffered from low self-esteem, and that's how they would market their product to us. You see, these institutions that are behind the scenes, that are manipulating things, know you very well. Now, the reason why I'm dressed in this manner is because our brother who passed away, Kevin Samuels, he was maligned because people were talking about how poorly he treated Black women that would call into his show, how he was misogynistic and all this other stuff. But in reality, he was just as hard on the men. Like, he was telling Black men to stop with the baggy jeans, the oversized clothes, stop wearing sneakers, wear shoes, wear a suit. Oh my God, everybody blew up when he said to wear a suit. People are like, why should we wear a suit? You know? Well, you see, we are programmed. This is why he got such a vicious response, because that was the programming. You see, back in the 50s, the 40s, and the early 60s, it was very common to see Black men dressed in suits, to look classy and to have style. And in the same sense, the Black women as well, they dress fantastic. But now, one of the directives of these think tank institutions was to destroy Black people and destroy their culture. So they started to interject a new program. And We downloaded the program, which became a virus and spread like wildfire in the country. So much so that now you see black men with the baggy pants, Ice Spice, or what's Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion and Gorilla dressing like sluts, something you would have never seen in the 1950s. And us defending this, black men acting overly emotional. But one of the biggest programs that they sent out was that all we care about and all we talk about is hip hop and sports. We can't stop talking about sports. And in fact, I dare say that if we cared as much about our liberation and our freedom as we do sports, we would be a free people. I mean, we are just passionate about sports. We don't shut up. And in hip hop, there has been an effort on those moguls within hip hop to make hip hop black culture. And they're doing that for a reason, to better control us, to better destroy us as a population. Hip hop is not black culture. Hip hop is a construct. It's synthetic. It's been crafted, put together, not through something like osmosis, but by evil geniuses behind corporate walls, masterminding this culture of death and destruction and sending it out to us via the ether so that we will download it. We'll get the implant, and then we will start to act based on this directive. This virus that has permeated us in every way, shape, or form has been so detrimental to us that it is a diversion. It has taken our minds and our efforts away from freedom and liberation and put it on things like entertainment and sports, things that will not benefit us in the end. So you're not going to see other people talk about this. An implant that takes the form of a virus that spreads like wildfire, like the 100 monkey principle. Because really what really is at the heart of this is what we call in occult science an ergobore or a pendulum. It's a spiritual entity that exists, that controls people and dictates their actions. In corporate America, they call this thing a corporate culture. There's no culture there. There's an ergobore there. That if you follow under the ergobore's directives, you'll be safeguarded, you'll be okay, you'll get promotions. But if you go against that ergobore will get you fired. This is the same thing that we have. The big corporations, the institutions, craft their studies, issue their directives for what they want the black culture to look like in 100 years. It goes out there in the form of a program or an ergobore. It gets downloaded. It becomes an implant. It spreads as a thought virus. And the masses of people, before they know it, are being manipulated. And they actually think that it's organic, that it's coming from them. It came from the South Bronx. This is us. Listen, I remember going to my old condo and I was going to sell it. And I got in the elevator and this young brother was talking to this older brother. And the young brother was saying how he is going to leave school. He doesn't want to go to college anymore. And the older brother said, why? He says, well, I want to pursue my dream. I want to get into music. And I stopped and I just said, man, that ergobor is doing its job. It is doing its job. Hey, Jennifer. Greetings from Las Vegas. You're not free. You don't have independent thought. You are under hood mind control. Because everything in your life, according to this implant, is about your culture, and your culture is about you coming from the hood. So, as that is the de facto culture, everything must mirror that. So the intellectual brothers and sisters are pushed to the side, made fun of, dressing in a suit with shoes, nice shoes. We make fun of that. And Kevin Samuels saw it. Kevin Samuels knew what was going on. That's why he kept telling brothers, stop with the hood attire. Don't dress like that, because the world doesn't dress like that. But we were like, we had to be rebels. Nah, this is our culture. No, it's a mind control. And those individuals, let me tell you something. KRS-One, all of them have a vested interest in making sure that this hood mentality becomes the dominant culture in the Black community, because the more it becomes the dominant culture in the Black community, the more they can market to that culture and the more money they will make. They don't care about Black people. If they cared about Black people, they would come out and say, you know what, rap hip hop is very detrimental to us, especially the youth. See, these people will come out the woodworks and say they want to get into rap because they love music. They don't love music, because none of them know how to play an instrument. Not one. If you love music, you would have probably figured out how to play the violin, the piano. That's a real love of music. No, what you want is you want money and bitches. Be honest, just say it. Listen, I want money and bitches, because you don't care about music. I got an opportunity yesterday to sit down and really listen to some of the tracks that are going on out there. And for one thing, I'll tell you this, they all sounded the same to me. And they had the most disgusting, immoral lyrics I've ever heard. And I was like, is this what they're pumping out to the Black community? Is this our culture? It's a worship of Satan. It's a worship of materialism. It's a worship of evil. Some rapper, she was talking about her period and aborting babies. And I was like, oh my God. And those who were supposed to be on watch have failed us. Those so-called Hotep, Afrocentric people, and the Christian ministers were supposed to put a stop to this. Hip hop is not our culture. And the few of us who are intellectual that are left, we have to make sure That it doesn't take up any more real estate within the community. Because all the existing rappers want to do is make money. And then you have your rappers like your KRS-One who will even go as far as to say hip hop is his religion, his spirituality. I'm like, what kind of religion and spirituality where it teaches about aborting babies and having your wet vaginas? What kind of religion teaches that all these black men talk about when they get together is sports? Yeah, our team gonna win this year. We're gonna get the trophy. Our team? What are you talking about? You're not making any money. But the program is so systemic. It is so widespread. And we can't see it because we're in the thick of things. We can't objectively step out of that and look at ourselves and see what we're doing. We're pitiful. We're pitiful because we allow those in control to take our sciences, our hidden and occult wisdom, and turn it against us and use it to manipulate us. I don't want to hear anything about sports. You know why? Because every year, hundreds of thousands of black babies are aborted. Because every year, the prison system is overcrowded with black men. Every year, corporate America discriminates against us. See, I don't know if you got the memo on that, but we're at war. Their objective is to wipe us off this planet. And the way they're going, they may succeed. And while they're planning this genocide, you want to talk about sports. You want to talk about sexy red. We got no time for that nonsense. We got no time for that. There's something really sinister and evil and demonic going on in the world. It's going on behind closed doors. And we are just privy to a small degree of what they're doing. And instead of acting accordingly to ensure our survival in the future, we just ignore it and dance in the streets and act overly emotional and mean mug. And talk about, I'm from the street. As if that means anything. And we just keep downloading the programs that they're sending our way. We just keep downloading it, and then we keep acting according to those programs because we don't believe that this science exists. We don't believe that they're demonic enough to do this. Yes, they are. We are a people who are oppressed, have no rights. Yet all we care about is partying, music, sports. See, the music is under the guise of the Egyptian deity Heteru or Hathor. And Hathor, if you were a member of her temple, of her priesthood, the music that you would be making would be spiritual music that would uplift your soul, to take you to 5D. But see, the music that they have mentally controlled us to make takes us down into hell to meet with Satan. It is satanic. The beats are satanic. You're in poverty. And all you can talk about is music and sports, when you need to be talking about putting your tie on, looking your best, and going out there and getting a job, and then from there conquering the world. Forget the music, because that ain't going nowhere. You think it's going to go somewhere, but it's not. You think it's your dream and your passion, but it's a program. It's an implant. You're being manipulated. That's not what God intended for you. That wasn't God's plan for you. God's plan got overruled by this program. The only way you're going to be free is if you stop downloading their programs. You need to stop downloading it. Cut it off. Because once you download it, then you become a carrier of it, and then you start infecting other people with the virus. Every other culture idolizes their men who dress in suits. Who are high value. We're the only culture that could give a damn about our brothers who dress in suits, our brothers who work in corporate America, who work a 9 to 5, who work hard. We don't care about them. But if you say you're a record producer, oh, everybody's like interested in you now. Oh, wow, really? You're a record producer? Wow, talk to me. But if I tell you I study economics at Harvard, you're not interested. I'm lame, according to you. You see, for us who refuse to accept the download or the program, we get marginalized in the society. Our voices are never heard. We're ignored. We're pushed down to the ground. They purposely keep us out of the mainstream media because they don't want those images to be seen of bright, educated, intelligent Black men and women. They don't want those images to be seen. So they do away with you in favor of the sexy reds and the Megan Thee Stallion. So if you act like them, dress like them, then you're going to get a lot of attention from mainstream media. That's corruption. That's a society on its way out. That's a people on its way out. You should be praising your young inventors. You should be praising your young entrepreneurs. You should be praising your young engineers. Fuck the rappers. All of them are no good. I'm telling you, all of them. They've done jack for the Black community. They've done jack to help put the right image in the forefront of the media. When's the last time you saw 50 Cent bring out 2 or 3 college grads from Howard University or whatever university who have degrees in economics? When's the last time you've seen them parade these brothers out there and say, these are the brothers you want to be, these are the brothers you should aspire to be, not me? But he won't do it. That's not part of the agenda. That's not part of the plan. I want you to think about this. Because we're being fooled. We're being duped by some clever mind control. And you can't hear it. You can't see it. It's metaphysical type of a control. You don't even have to believe in it. It's still going to work. It's still going to manipulate you and control you. Just think about that. If you like this message and it resonates with you, please donate to the channel. This is Qesankh Ma Keparu, son of Ma and Tahuti. My aunt is the beautiful goddess Heteru. Until my next video, I'm in Ra.